Welcome to the Thunderfunking DotaCast. I'm Cranberry Thunderfunk, and this is the group stages of the International 3. Team Liquid versus Virtus.Pro. Game 1 of a series of 2. I don't know what to call it. It's just 2 games. They play 2 games. It goes on their record.
Reserve time.
I am excited to watch Virtus.Pro and see how they do in this. Virtus.Pro is one of the more exciting teams to watch. They kind of follow the CIS tradition of just playing super aggressive Dota, which always makes VP just a joy to watch. They have been branching out in their styles more recently. They've even been known to run what is known as rat dodo. That being where you constantly split push. Nature's Prophet is kind of a critical element of that. And one of the reasons that we see Team Liquid first ban that is that KSI pretty much exclusively plays Nature's Prophet. It's kind of like Admiral Bulldog and Lone Druid. It's just what he plays all the time. So I think it's a wise ban from Liquid, not giving that up, because he always has high impact on that. But VP has run a variety of lineups, including they've done a little bit more team fight oriented picks. They've picked up the Naga Siren a couple times. I haven't actually seen Liquid running the Naga Siren, so I'll be curious to see how well they do with this. Every team seems to do something different with Naga, so Liquid has been having a lot of... They've been struggling recently. They're definitely not favored for the top 8 right now in the International. They have the potential, they have the individual player skill, but they seem to lack on execution, and they can get flustered, is the way that I would put it.
Virtus.Pro's turn to pick.
IX Mike in particular, he's a passionate player. Some teams are more influenced by morale than others. Everyone is influenced by it, but Liquid and VP really falls in that category too. They can kind of snowball downwards or upwards depending on how they're doing. But Liquid, they've had some problems with consistency recently, and execution has not always been top notch. They're still a tier 1 team, but they have a lot to prove here, and I would say they come into this matchup as the underdogs. Looking at the draft so far, OD gets picked up by VP, and that's a pretty big pickup for them. Illidan plays that most often, and whenever they run the OD, they always send a mid, regardless of who plays it. Illidan may also just go for the lifestealer. They can, because OD is not necessarily the hardest hero to play, there's a lot of people that can play him. There's always differences in skill, but when it comes down to it, he's a right-click semi-carry, and you just have to time your imprisonments correctly, which that's not too hard.
Reserve time.
So the most complicated part just comes into calculating stat differences on the fly. And a Skywrath pickup, that's an interesting. It's definitely a support Skywrath, but Skywrath is pretty good versus anti-mage. That long silence is very nice for getting early kills on anti-mage, especially if, depending on how Team Liquid runs this, definitely with the anti-mage pickup, it looks to be a support Naga Siren. And if that's the case, then Liquid is basically forced into the defensive tri-lane. If it's a Nyx Assassin as a part of that, I really hope not. I think that's a terrible tri-lane. So that would suggest it's a solo mid Nyx Assassin. Picking the Skywrath into a Nyx is a little ballsy.
Reserve time.
So I have to give credit to VP for that, or maybe not. Maybe it's the opposite. But Skywrath has pretty high intelligence, and the Arcane Bolt works directly off of, it scales off of intelligence, so Skywrath is going to have a hard time dealing with Nyx Assassin. Part of the reason the Nyx Assassin is also picked is versus OD. He's one of the few heroes that can stand up in the lane versus OD. He's not going to win the lane, but he's not going to get harassed out. And with Spike Carapace in particular, good usage of that can really punish OD quite a bit. And it doesn't cost that much mana, so you're not totally dependent on it for...
5 seconds
for your survival in the lane. The other reason is the mana burn. The high intelligence of OD
Reserve
makes him suffer
time.
under that quite a bit, and early on, the first 5 levels, OD suffers for mana. Unless he gets some RNGG with the Essence Aura. So with the Rubik pick, and assuming this is a Nagasaran support, they could run the aggressive tri-lane, but I don't think they will. Not up against a Lifestealer. It's in my opinion, teams don't think this way. They definitely don't run their lanes this way. But in my opinion, running a tri-lane, aggressive tri-lane against a Lifestealer is a
5
huge pain in the
seconds
ass.
remaining.
And you're at an immediate disadvantage because killing the opposing carry becomes almost
Team
impossible.
Liquid's turn to ban.
Unless you get some ridiculous chain stun and all of your burst damage before he pops Rage off, which is not always possible.
Virtus.Pro turn to pick.
Liquid bans out the axe last. I think that's a joke ban. In fact, I would almost bet money that it is. Virtus.Pro ran axe in the finals of defense? Yeah, it was versus Kaipi, and they ran axe twice. Once to great success. They went to this absurd aggressive tri-lane,
Team
creep
Liquid's
skipping.
turn to pick.
Dazzle!
Pro's turn to pick.
So I'm pretty sure that axe ban was kind of a joke, but Virtus.Pro rounds it out with one of their favorite supports, the Vengeful Spirit. The Dazzle is a super interesting pick, and this is definitely a solo Nyx Assassin. Which would leave... What the fuck are these lanes? So is it a solo anti-mage with an aggressive tri-lane, Naga Siren, Rubik, Dazzle? That may work. It might just work. Why wouldn't they pick the Shadow Demon instead of the Rubik, though? Because that would be an even more obvious combination and be even better. Whatever. It will work because of the mirror image on Naga Siren. If Naga Siren nets and then mirror images and then a heal from Dazzle, or if you can even better get multiple heals, your potential in this lane is pretty good for a kill, and that's physical damage that goes through rage. So it's a potential aggressive tri-lane. This is one of the, I think, a good example of a pocket strat that everybody was hoping to see in TI3. So it's pretty exciting. I love Dazzle. I mean, I really love Dazzle. He's probably my favorite support in the whole game. Also happens to have one of the best themes and designs. Super great. In terms of these lineups, the defensive tri-lane for Virtus.Pro, Lifestealer, Vengeful Spirit, Skywrath. VS and Skywrath have to be careful. Really, really careful. They're fairly squishy, and the burst damage from Liquid is not too shabby. That said, I mean they've got Silence plus Magic Missile. If they can stay on top of someone with Illidan, then their ability to find kills, it's evenly matched. I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup, assuming the game actually starts. They're having some mumble issues, which I don't understand. Like, how? But mine is not to question why. Ours but to do and die. In mid, I strongly favor Crazy. OD is just so strong, and even on Nyx Assassin, he'll do okay. He'll get some farm. More importantly, he'll get levels. That's really what you want for Nyx Assassin. Get him to level 6, start using the Vendetta, and turn the tides in other lanes. Down in bottom, Darkseer versus Anti-Mage. This is a lineup, a matchup that we've seen over and over and over again. That's assuming yeah, that's what it's going to be. I thought for a brief moment, maybe they'll swap out the Anti-Mage for the Naga Siren. No, they're not going to do that. It's going to be Anti-Mage bottom versus the Darkseer, and it's a pretty close matchup, but Black on Mouse Sports has basically demonstrated the de facto strategy for winning that lane is just to take Mana Break at level 1 and auto-attack Darkseer. He struggles for mana at level 1. He's got to be able to spam multiple Ion Shells, has to get his early items up, particularly the Soul Ring. If you can slow his Soul Ring down, then you can have a really good time in that lane. And I don't know. I think it used to be the case that Darkseer, you send him up 1v1 versus anything, and he's going to win, but not versus Anti-Mage. In fact, it does come down to play. I mean, it really depends on TC playing it appropriately. If he goes for a stat-oriented build, he'll get last hits, but he will not stop any of KSI's farm, and as time goes on... we have to play with the issue, they say. I don't know. That's too bad. Don't know what the issue is, but I'm glad that the admins are just pushing it forward. Yeah, so if TC goes for a stat-oriented build, like if he goes like Blink level 1 or Spell Shield and then gets stats, or goes for 1-1-1 and pure stats, I don't know that he will win the lane. The problem is that all Darkseer has to do is creep skip, go behind the tower, force Anti-Mage to last hit under the tower, and he has gone for a Quelling Blade, so it will be a little bit easier, and he's been pulled regen. He's been pulled a lot of regen. 2 sets of tangos for him. Actually, tangos on himself, that's right. Yes, called it. Knew the exact values of what all this costs. So with a Quelling Blade, he'll have a slightly easier time lasting under the tower. But you're still going to miss last hits. It's a guarantee if you're lasting under the tower and you don't have some kind of big AoE. But running through the lineups, Liquid on the Radiant side. This is game 1 of the series of 2 between Liquid and VP in the International 3 group stages. It's exciting! IX Mike, he's going to be playing Rubik. Fluffnstuff going to be on Dazzle. This will be the first competitive game where I've seen Dazzle, I think. Bulba will be playing Naga Siren. Interesting tri-lane. I've never seen this before. I'm excited to see. I really hope it succeeds, because it's pretty cool in my mind. Korok, he's going to be on Nyx Assassin, headed middle, and TC on that Anti-Mage down at bottom. For Virtus.Pro on the Dire side, I got a Soul Ring Rush started up on KSI for Darkseer. Crazy, he started off with, he's been pulled regen as well. He's got a Null Talisman plus 2 Iron Branches plus and a Salve, which I think is kind of unnecessary, but, whatever. It will make sure that he never has to leave the lane. It's also it's not too common for OD to pick up a bottle. Some people will do it, some people don't. It's entirely up to the player, but if you don't pick up a bottle, then having some health regen can really help out early on. That said, you could just rush for Tranquils. And this is going to be on Vengeful Spirit, ars-art, on that support Skywrath Mage, and illidan on the Lifestealer. So it's going to be a pretty tense situation in this tri-lane. Whoever goes in first kind of starts at a disadvantage. The one big issue I see for Liquid is mana. I think one of the big weaknesses of some counter-wardings, a counter-ward getting counter-warded, the big issue for Naga Siren is mana. You can spam the Riptide, but you don't have that much mana. And you're going to need it for the net as well as the mirror image if you want to get the Shadow Wave to deal any damage. And he has gone Shadow Wave first, so that's definitely the focus of this tri-lane. Last hits. Over mid, it's pretty even so far. Crazy slightly ahead. No shocker there. It is going to depend a lot on Korok. If he can rotate relatively early, if he gets like a haste rune, that could be a big opportunity for Liquid up at top. I just think it's because it's so obvious when Liquid is going to go in. If they throw the net, then that's just a giant alarm bell for Virtus.Pro, and they have a silence, they have magic missile. Plenty of ability to respond to this in time. Not able to successfully ward this this pull. They do have vision of it, but they're not trying to challenge it, and I think they really could if they so desired. Ooh, lucky rune for Nyx Assassin, getting a regen after he drops all the way down. Like he took a lot of physical harass as well as being totally out of mana. So getting a regen rune, pretty handy for him. Liquid does some of their own side pulling here, but I think this might not be all that worth it, because now they're just last hitting under the tower, which doesn't make life easier. I mean, you know, oh look, missing a last hit under the tower. I think there's no point in doing these side pulls if you can't secure them. Like, you need to position yourself accordingly to stay on top of things. One problem of running Dazzle, I think this is probably, besides the mana issue, Bulba not being able to spam his abilities nearly as much as he really needs to. Dazzle is super level dependent, and this is one of the reasons that Dazzle has not really been picked much in the competitive scene, is that if you stick him in a tri-lane, particularly an aggressive tri-lane, you need points in everything, and not just 1 point. You gotta have 3 points in Poison Touch for it to be good. You can live with 1 point in Shallow Grave and Shadow Wave. It's not ideal, but they definitely get much more efficient and much more effective. I mean, the cooldown on Shadow Wave is the big deal here. It goes from 12 to 6. And you could say the same for Shallow Grave, but that's not quite such a big deal. It's mostly the Shadow Wave and the Poison Touch that you're really concerned about. Another combo that I want to point out that will be coming as we exit the laning stage is that Weave applies during sleep. So when Naga Siren uses sleep, fluffnstuff can cast Weave on themselves as well as the enemy, and that will rack up for the full duration of sleep, which means you start a fight with way more armor, and it can be really effective, particularly versus VP, who they've got a lot of high natural armor heroes. I mean, OD, 7 natural armor right now. Lifestealer doesn't have necessarily the most, but tends to build AC, so it's not the most uncommon thing. Darkseer, he's got a lot of natural armor, so the Weave is really going to do a lot of work in terms of amplifying their damage. And that's a combo that I think they're going to be happy to have. The problem, as mentioned before, is getting those levels. That's the critical part. Virtus.Pro getting some chain pulls done here. Liquid is aware of it, but I feel like if Liquid is not getting kills here, they're not getting nearly as much out of this tri-lane as they should be. Oh, there's the stun onto Bulba. The open wounds. The rage is popped to make sure that he doesn't get stopped. The net onto illidan, so he's probably going to make it out. Oh, a late Shallow Grave use. Kind of wasted. No reason for that. Well, Virtus.Pro, that engagement favors them. They chase Liquid out of the lane. They force Bulba to use some regen, and they're happy with that. Korok's just about to hit level 6. You can see that he's purchased some smoke. That's actually a pretty smart thing to do for Nyx Assassin, because your Vendetta does not... Oh, rotation from ars-art. He showed up in time. The concussion shot is slowing him down. The Ascenity's Eclipse is used. This could be first blood. One more right click, and he will go down. ars-art picks up the last hit there. Nice rotation from ars-art. It shows up just in time. One of the nice things about Skywrath is his 315 base movement speed, but IX Mike rotates down to bottom, but the Surge is up on KSI. TC has his... Oh, the Mana Void! He's at 12 HP! He can't dive it! He can't dive it! Oh, that's so sad! Oh, I feel so bad. That looked like a really great rotation. It will chase KSI out of the lane for the time being, and because TC's got his Ring of Regen, Ring of Health even, he'll get back up to full health in no time. But as mentioned, buying the smoke on... Well, I guess it wasn't for him. I liked the smoke pickup on Korok. Who's carrying it? Was it IX Mike? I guess it must have been IX Mike. I guess that's what he used to get in range for Darkseer. So... But the point I was going to make was that if you use a smoke, you can use that to get in position for your level 1 Vendetta, which doesn't last all that long. It's only like 20 seconds. Yeah. Which is not necessarily long enough to get in position if you walk all the way from mid. So if you use a smoke first, then you can get closer, then pop the Vendetta, and have a better time as a result. I really don't think Korok should be spending a whole lot more time in this lane. A little concerned for him, to be perfectly honest. You know, if... I gotta wonder about this. If TC rotated middle and just mana voided him, that's 400 damage? They could easily get that kill. And they could definitely get it. I mean, he's got his blink, so... in terms of last hits down in this bottom lane, TC is up on top, 36-6 versus KSI's 29-5. So not a huge advantage, but as expected, TC is coming out on top there. Especially the big difference maker for anti-mage in this lane. Getting a ring of health and or your tranquil boots help you withstand all of that ion shell harass. The supports for Liquid have rotated into the jungle here, which I think is about time. They're really suffering for levels, and they're probably going to get to the second daytime before they're level 6. It's really unfortunate, especially for Rubik. And for all the aforementioned reasons of Dazzle, he's still at level 3. Ooh, an Invis rune on Ness. He could make something happen with this. Bulba still struggles up in this top lane. Still sitting at level 4. He's gobbling up the waves whenever they come to him, but that's all really he can hope for. And illidan, he's not afraid. He's not afraid of Bulba at all. Oh, down in mid. This looks like to be a second kill just about to happen here. Fluffnstuff, he will go down. 2 valuable kills, taking down the solo Nyx assassin and getting Dazzle. Dazzle's quickly becoming useless this game. Very concerned for Liquid as this goes forward. Even just a few more deaths on their supports, and that could be a huge problem. Especially a late 6 on Naga Siren, that's not good either. I think that's the big weakness. Oh no. There's the silence. He's not going to be able to get anything off. The Infest, a few more right clicks from illidan. Can he stay on top of him? But the Korok has shown up just in time. There's the net. There's no way for illidan to make it out of this. Korok uses the Vendetta just to finish him off. Probably a little bit unnecessary given that he was netted under the tower, but whatever. Good rotation from Liquid. Bulba manages to live there. That's the critical part. Gets his level 6 as a result of that kill. That's important. Having the sleep should provide the opportunity for some kills. IX Mike would love to make a kill happen down in this bottom lane, but I just don't know that they can do it. At least not without like a level 2 mana void. Once DC hits 11, then Darkseer really can't stay near Anti-Mage. But so it goes. It's important that Korok finally found himself a kill in this game. Going for the solo mid Nyx assassin and not getting any kills, it means you're not really getting anything for your investment. It's not enough to send something to a lane, a solo lane like that, and not and only slow down the farm on the opposing lane mate. And you really haven't slowed him down. Crazy's his farm is equal to what TC has had in this safe lane, so he really hasn't been impeded at all by Nyx assassin. Illidan should have his drums relatively soon. Once he has that, can be more active around the map if he so chooses, or he could continue to farm. I think whatever he wants to do is going to be fine for Virtus.Pro. They do want to start applying pressure as soon as possible, making sure that they need to kill the anti-mage before he gets his Battle Fury at least once. I think if they want to feel secure in their farming. The unfortunate thing for VP is that they're not getting in range for a gank is a little bit difficult. It will all depend on basically NS. Like it's the magic missile and the silence from ars-art that makes the big difference here. And I mean, especially since ars-art is 6 now, that Mystic Flare does so much damage to anybody on this team. I mean, he could just outright kill almost any of them solo. So should be making use of that as soon as possible. I do like this skill build as a support Nyx assassin, optimizing concussive shot over arcane bolt. It's definitely a necessity and gets the most out of your concussive shot. I think the most important thing, yeah, it drops the cooldown from 20 to 14 seconds. That's the big part right there. Well, a somewhat passive game early on here. Smoke has popped on 3. I think Virtus.Pro realized they need to take out TC as soon as possible. They don't want... An anti-mage could definitely carry this game pretty hard. He's got the support necessary. Dazzle was a fantastic late game support. Oh, there's a surge in. They get the silence off. There's the Mystic Flare. But the Shallow Grave, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is! Oh, the Shallow Grave! Professional placement here from Fluffnstuff. The sleep is used by Bulba. They want to go in on this. Korok is getting in position. He can land a two-hero impale here. The timing has to be perfect, and it is. There's no chance for NS to get his magic missile off, but a defensive imprisonment here from Crazy shows up just in time, getting a lot of orbs off on Korok. Uses the Vendetta defensively. May be able to turn around and find a kill here if if he's careful. It really depends. Nice poison from fluffnstuff from the side. Slows down Darkseer. Not going to be able to get in there in time. Oh, but 2 right clicks. Oh, but the Korok was not fast enough. He tried. It really did. And they may even try and finish Korok off. He doesn't have any more mana. A few more right clicks. Virtus.Pro showing off the CIS Dota here. Thinking about diving the tier 2. TC's going to show up from the side here. There are no mana void targets. That's what he was looking for. And because there aren't, he will not find any kills. That was a pretty good fight for Virtus.Pro. It didn't actually go as badly for Liquid as I thought it would. I think it was perhaps a little bit greedy for Liquid to try and engage after that sleep. They almost took NS down. The problem, I feel, was that there were too many targets to focus. Do you kill NS first? You kind of have to. He's got a magic missile, and if whoever he shoots is going to die. Do you kill Crazy? Was he in the sleep? I actually don't remember. Do you kill ars-art? I mean, he's already used the Mystic Flare, but he's got Concussive Shot, and that silence lasts for 6 seconds. That's so long. Whoever you choose is a high-value target at 13 minutes in this game, but you can't kill them all. So, nonetheless, really good job from fluffnstuff saving TC. And Liquid is all up in. Oh, there's a swap on the Korok. He's no chance. What was Liquid doing here? I don't understand what Liquid was, what their game plan was there. They have an anti-mage. Why is anti-mage a part of their roaming party in the jungle? There's no good reason for that. But we're getting some item pickups here. Run through those real quick before more kills happen. Drums and Orb Venom up on Lifestealer. Really like the Orb pickup. Will help his chasing ability quite a lot. Force Staff picked up onto Crazy. It's going to help his positioning. I haven't seen that as much on OD recently, so I'm kind of happy to see that again. It's a more active pickup, more aggressive. It's going to allow him to be wherever he needs to be. ars-art has got his Arcane Boots, and NS. They always build for a sort of more semi-carry oriented Vengeful Spirit. VP does. So in that trend, going for the treads for the extra survivability, and later in the game it will provide a lot more damage with that attack speed. KSI, he's finished his mech. He's got his Soul Ring. So that mech is going to be pretty crucial for VP as they go forward. I do really like the mech build on OD, but when you've got a Darkseer on your team, you know, it's kind of a toss-up. Like, who do you give it to? They can both farm it pretty fast, and realistically, KSI probably had it faster than Crazy would have had it. Bulba. Haven't seen Treads in a while on Naga Siren, so I'm kind of glad to see that. Treads, Bracer, he's going to be going for a drum. Tanking up, wants to make his illusions pretty decent. Fluffnstuff, sitting on nothing but boots, looking towards his phase sometime in the near future, maybe someday. Korok is really underfarmed for a solo mid. Sitting on naked boots, Null Talisman, that's not a good sign. That means, I mean, that really puts all the pressure on TC. He doesn't quite yet have his Battle Fury, although it is on the way. Yes, he's got his Perseverance, so he gets a 60-minute Battle Fury. That's pretty good timing. Switch over to net worth here. Yeah, overall, TC's done a really good job this game. That Battle Fury timing, I mean, you can trace that back to Fluffnstuff. Him living there was a big deal, and he would not have a Battle Fury at this time otherwise, which is pretty much just in the nick of time, because Virtus.Pro is looking to get more of these Tier 1 towers off the map. And once those are gone, it's going to get a lot harder for TC to find secure farm. That said, I mean, you know, anti-mage with Battle Fury, there's always farm somewhere that you can get, but if they lose control of their jungle is the big question for Korok. They don't have a lot of burst damage right now. They're just not that dangerous. Especially because of how underfarmed Korok is. He really needs, like, if he had a Blink Dagger, that would be a different story. There's a smoke up on NS and AA. This combo here, this is, I mean, it's one of the things I love about VP is they run these super aggressive supports. And they don't just group up, wait for everybody to group up together and hope that their supports, you know, land a stun. They will frequently roam together, and this combo, they can kill anybody, including TC, if if they do this. Oh, there's the magic missile. Oh, the mystic flare. TC goes down. Shortly after he gets his Battle Fury, not able to get all the farm that he was hoping for. The more kills you get on anti-mage, the earlier, the better. It's a deadly combo. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh, there's a swap on a Korok for basically no reason. But it doesn't matter. KSI picks up the kill on Korok, no trouble. Yeah, I don't understand what that swap was about, but you know, why not? You want to press buttons. Bulba's finished his drums, so he's getting a little bit tankier. A little bit more survivability. Oh, NS. He's picked up his medallion. It's good news for him. It's a lot of minus armor combined with the Wave of Terror. And look at this build on NS. 3 in Magic Missile, 3 in Vengeance Aura, and only 1 in Wave of Terror. I love it. Lots of auto attack damage, and it's pretty effective given who he's roaming with. There's a lot of intelligence on ars-art, a lot of auto attack damage that he can deal in that way. So NS going for the semi-carry build. I love it. Fluffnstuff continues to struggle here. Maxing out Shallow Grave. I mean, it's kind of hard to question because would almost guarantee that maxing out Shallow Grave will guarantee twice in one sentence that TC won't die. If he saves TC once as a result of skilling that multiple times, then it's totally worth it. And there's a good chance that he will. Virtus.Pro though, they're taking the Roche. They just took the bottom tier 2. Liquid will find a trade in the top tier 1, which is the first tower of them this game. That puts this gold lead. I should have checked this graph sooner. 10,000 in favor of Virtus.Pro. Almost a little over 8,000 experience. That's I didn't realize it was that bad, but it's pretty bad for Liquid. They got nothing out of that aggressive tri-lane. They got a whole bunch of underfarm supports. They lost mid, and they broke even in the bottom lane. KSI got plenty out of that lane. I think this is a smart idea from Liquid, trading rather than trying to defend, because they know they can't. The armlet is up on Illidan. He hits like a truck. NS is honestly his own little terror. Don't know what Crazy has on the courier here. Oh, it's a BKB. That's a big deal. That BKB is going to be very strong. And VP just continue to push. No reason for them not to. We can see Vlad's coming up on TC. He's kind of desperate for early game strength, and there's no reason for Virtus.Pro to stop. They're only up against an anti-mage, and he's only got a Battle Fury. There's not that much for them to worry about. Thanks, Mike. There's the lift onto Illidan, but nice defensive imprison there from Crazy. The Mystic Flare lands on nothing, but vacuum onto 3 into the middle of the Sanity's Eclipse. The song comes just a second too late. Korok and Fluffnstuff are already down, and this is going to be the racks soon to follow. 4-staff in from Crazy, getting more imprisonment stacks. Doesn't even have to follow it up. And that's the mid-racks going down at 20 minutes. Wow. Virtus.Pro take this game in pretty commanding fashion. They gave no chance for Liquid to get farmed up, and that was a major weakness of their lineup. Liquid did not have a backup plan for that aggressive tri-lane, and I mean that's kind of a common story with aggressive tri-lanes, but I don't think that tri-lane works aggressively. Defensively, absolutely. You have way more experience and gold available for your supports, but because of how, these supports provide nothing to the rest of their team. They've got telekinesis, and they've got the theory of Dazzle plus Naga, which is it's a great theory. I really look forward to the day it gets proven. Liquid will immediately push back out. They want to find a mid-tier 1, but this is a desperation push. I don't think there's a... If that swap lands... Oh, I can't quite get in range. Mystic Flare. Ooh, nice 4-staff back from Crazy. It was Crazy, right? No, somebody who... How did that happen? Where did the 4-staff come from? I don't know how Ice Mike got shoved back into the river. Maybe it was just my perspective being wrong. But another kill going the way of VP. Orchid picked up on Illidan. He's officially a wrecking ball. He just got his certification. He passed the test. Defusal someday for Bulba. I don't think that will make a difference in this game. Normally I'd say, oh yeah, Defusal. It's awesome. I just don't think that Liquid can do anything about this. Their anti-push is terrible. Late game, it's not bad at all, but it's entirely dependent on bulba. And bulba's a long ways from any farm.
Dire's top tower is under
I do like, I like Liquid's draft. I think there's a lot of it that could work out quite nicely. Oh no, bulba's gonna feed another kill to Crazy. And down he goes. Stuck around just a second too long. The force staff from Crazy makes sure that he can stay
Dire's top tower has been
stay right on top of bulba. No chance for him to get away. Well, the defusal is almost there for whenever bulba comes back alive, and they delay the push down at bottom. The game for Liquid now is they're all on the TC boat. That's all they can do is hope that he gets his farm up, and if he does, they have a hope. But they have about 20 minutes before that hope is anything less than a figment of a dream. And VP's not stupid. They're not going to stop pushing. They've still got the Aegis, I think. Yeah, they do. Which, hadn't even thought about this entire time, but illidan will start to get really aggressive and use that up whenever he wants. If they can kill him. A questionable affair. I really like the Orchid pickup on illidan. It's really great for taking down TC. It's going to be a long time before he gets a BKB, and he can't go for BKB. When you're this far behind his anti-mage, going for BKB means that you just do nothing. You can jump into the fight, and you will die, and deal no damage. You have to go for the Manta style. You have to go for something like a Butterfly. Vlad's is an option. I don't think it's a great one. Just because you're not going to get much pushing done. You're not actually alive long enough to do any auto attacks. Virtus.Pro's manning up on this top tier 3. Rage is stolen by IX Mike. He wants to go in and use it to find a telekinesis, but Virtus.Pro wisely backs off. Oh, there's a swap on IX Mike. He gets taken out. Nice shallow grave from fluffnstuff. We'll keep IX Mike alive. He just gets used by illidan, so he's a-okay. For as much effort as this requires from Liquid, there's just not much. Oh, the sleep. This could be a 4-man impale if korok can position himself correctly. Maybe 3-man. Timing has to be perfect, though. Can he do it? Nope. He gets silenced before he can use the impale. Sanity's Eclipse is used on TC. He gets blown the hell up. Bulba, he's soon to follow. IX Mike down as well. Buyback from TC is going to be meaningless. It's going to be VP's game to take. Wow. Domination. 2-15, 25 minutes in the game. 15,000 gold lead. 10,000 experience lead. NS. I love this. I love his vengeful spirit. I would almost consider banning this in future games. You gotta ban the OD too. Crazy did a great job middle. If you don't have a solution for OD middle, then you have to ban him. And Nyx Assassin's not a solution. So I think Liquid's lanes were really what lost them here. And they ran with the only lanes that they could because they picked Naga Siren not as a support and as a... Oh, the same team as an anti-mage? Naga Siren plus anti-mage is a pretty shitty defensive tri-lane. So I can see why they wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It was just a cheesy strat from Liquid, and as much as I love it in the idea, just like you don't have mana to spam mirror image. Your mirror images are so easy to kill at level 1. I think, what if Naga Siren were a Shadow Demon, their early game would be amazing. Would be really good. They would have had a much stronger aggressive tri-lane, where they actually might have gotten kills. And they could have held this game for a lot longer. The Nyx Assassin mid, it could have been okay if they're just the aggressive tri-lane hadn't failed. And even though there weren't any kills, I think we can classify it as a failure. Nonetheless, fun game to watch. I love VP for their aggressive supports.